Right, so this is your Windows machine, and we get into Power BI connection to SAP directly. This is a live connection, and what you will have on your desktop is a Power BI template, which is, think of it as something which is added on to connect live to your SAP, right? So once you click on this, it is opening up your very familiar Power BI interface. The first thing it wants to do is to know where do you want to go on to your SAP. And you can be using your dev system, QA system, production, etc. And it asks you for the first time a couple of questions. How do you want to connect? So I'll use HTTP and slash. This is my SAP server. Port is 8000. Then you see you get a few options. Let's talk about those options very quickly. So you might be wanting to get reports from SAP, and that's your option R. Then also some of the times you might be looking for tables or views from SAP. There's 850,000 of those in your SAP system. So you can be extracting those to your Power BI. Some of the business users, they might be, creating their queries on SQVI in SAP, and that's supported for extraction here. If you're on HANA, SAP is recommending more and more of models using CDS views. So C stands for your CDS views. You might have BW extractors, traditionally, and those other ones you might be wanting to expose. And lastly, your T codes. That's what is a business favorite, and you might be wanting to use those T codes to extract the data. And both for reports, I just wanted to highlight that it could be 450,000 plus SAP provided reports, or also, if you have some of the custom reports, those are also extractable to your Power BI, right? Let's focus on the one which we have, the report type, and then I'll give the name. Remember, we were extracting this MB51, which is RM07 docs, and we use the same variant. USB for SAP one. And here again, there's a few options there. You can select business field names. If you are a bit more technical oriented and you want the technical field names like VBLN and BUKRS rather than company code and document number, you can choose T, which is for technical field names, or you can choose both. You can say I want business as well as technical field names, in which case you'll end up selecting A. For now, let's select B. And then these are your regular options, what kind of delimiter you want in your data. So I'll go with whatever is the default. And then you can be selecting your ALV reports as well as standard reports. Since MB51 is an ALV report, that's what I'll select for now. All right, so I'm done telling SAP where to go. Now I can go ahead and use this button to edit or transform the data or simply load this. For now, I'll just go ahead and load this. So now it is going into backend SAP, and first thing it wants to know is who am I, right? So this is where I enter my SAP credentials. And tell Power BI to fetch this report from the SAP system. Now, here's two things which have happened. All the security and authorization maintenance which has been done on your SAP side is what will be reflected. If I am authorized for using this report, then only I'll be able to call this. And within the report, if I'm able to see in SAP only company code 1000 and not 2000, that's exactly what will be reflected here in Power BI as well. So all your security and authorizations, You don't have to rebuild any of that within Power BI. All of that is still respected simply because this is going into SAP on your behalf and fetching this. And by the way, you don't need a SAP GUI to be installed or Excel or any of that. You can simply be using Power BI with your SAP. So let's go ahead and connect. Now this is going in the backend SAP. Now we're getting to the exciting part and running this report on your behalf. So while this gets this, let me quickly walk you through what it has fetched from the SAP. If you notice, we told it to fetch the business field names. So you'll see here on the right panel, all the field names which are there in that particular report in B51 with the business field names as the column, right? So this probably, is very familiar: cost center, company code, etc., etc. I don't need to walk you through that. Let's look at what it has done on the content side. It tried to understand, what is the data it has fetched. There is some machine learning involved here, which comes as part of your standard Power BI package. You don't have to take anything extra, and gives you a few options here, right? It based on its understanding of the data. It gives you options to, I want my data sorted by, let's say, company code. It will sort it for you, right? And not only this, you could be asking it to draw charts for you. So let's draw a chart for, give me the quantity, total quantity by material. Now it has drawn this chart for me to really get a very high level profile of what all materials are there and given me this chart. I may like it, I may not like it, but business users, they probably want to get the first hand feel of what's the data without knowing all the semantics of it. Now let's say I want to dig deeper, not by material, but by material document. So I'll just go ahead and type document and see it has gone ahead and redrawn that graph based on whatever English language query the user has typed. So what did we do here? We are able to get data from SAP without writing any piece of code. The business user can get into the system and get high level profiling of the data done. And if they want to switch and use, let's say, a table now, so all they need to do is to go back to their parameters. I will say tables and then use T001W. That's the plants table in SAP. You probably know this, and then just press OK. Once you apply the changes, two things will happen. It will again go back to your SAP and fetch the data from SAP. Now you notice this is T001W table, and it has fetched the columns here. And also what it is trying to do is to understand this data, right? So now based on the new data, it is creating your queries once again. So I can type, tell me about count of VTWEGS. I guess that's some kind of quantity in SAP. And these kind of, I think you get the picture for the data extraction and how it makes sense. Also, let me show you quickly how easy it is to flip. So let's say rather than this table, I want a new report now. So I'll use report type, and then I will go ahead and type the report name 00 and use the same variant. Press OK. apply changes. So now it is going and running this new report RM06EL00, and there it is. It has gone ahead, changed the column names because that's what this particular report has, and also it has drawn new inferences from the data which it has just read from SAP. And then you can go ahead and profile the data the way you want to. All right, that's all I had for Power BI to live SAP connection. I hope you find this useful. Thank you.